Blur with Parklife on the Spark Film Show. What a great tune. We need an excuse to play it.
Yeah,
and there it is.
That's the best chance we're ever going to get.
Is that the one good thing to come from Grimsby? We'll find out in our review. But first, we're going to hear from Sacha Baron Cohen in this clip.
1, 2, 3, push!
But Dad, I'm out of breath.
Yeah, well, I told you not to smoke. At your age, you should just be vaping.
Hey, Dad, let's put it in here.
No, that is my brother's room.
But Dad, he's been missing for 28 years. We need the room. There's 9 of us.
No, I'm keeping it the way he likes it.
Dad, you're never going to find him. You might as well just give up.
Give up? I know he's out there somewhere. And one day, he's going to join our family again.
You know, you've got to have some kind of responsibility when you're making a film, that you're not just being offensive for the sake of being offensive, and you're not conforming to any racial stereotypes. Or I can have the character be an idiot, but I think there is a bit of a responsibility when you make a film. So when I'm writing a joke that's near the edge, there's always a discussion with me and my co-writers as to whether it's the right thing to do.
Sacha Baron Cohen
yes,
there talking about
responsibility.
Grimsby. Don't know why it looped there, but anyway. Sacha Baron Cohen talking about Grimsby, which we're going to review right now.
Yeah, so Grimsby is a film by Sacha Baron Cohen, as you see, directed by Letterier, who's done plenty of good films like The Incredible Hulk, which was the first. Was that the first? In the cinematic universe?
Iron Man was the first.
Was Iron Man first? Yeah, he's done Now You See Me, which I still haven't seen, but it's supposedly quite good. I don't know if he's coming back for the second one. Clash of the Titans, which I think was a decent enough action film, and the first 2 Transporter films, which were okay action films. So, you know, it's what?
Masterpieces.
Yeah, masterpiece. It was a decent slate. So this time we got to Grimsby, which has got a lot of controversy in the town of Grimsby, because if you've seen any of the promotional stuff, Grimsby, the town, is not portrayed well, to say the least. Not at all. So there've been a lot of backlash to that, and it's mainly been filmed elsewhere in a completely different place.
It's a storm on a teacup. It doesn't really mean anything.
Yeah,
yeah.
It's been filmed around Epping Forest in Essex, which is about
you even
Grimsby.
see in the film that the bus goes by and it's got greys on it. That's down south.
Yeah, there you go. It's down southy, so it's miles away. So it couldn't be further from Grimsby. But I mean, it sort of gets the point, I guess. So basically, in Grimsby, we've got a British black ops spy played by Mark Strong. He is trying to foil a plot. However, it's trying to foil an assassination attempt, so to speak, and he is stopped in his quest, and he accidentally shoots a different person. He shoots the head of the World Health Organization because he is hugged from behind by his brother called Nobby, played by Sacha Baron Cohen, who is sort of the exact opposite. He is a football fanatic. He's like the stereotypical, like, if you asked
northerner.
Yeah, stereotypical northerner, stereotypical benefits scrounger, that sort of thing. And he makes Mark Strong miss a shot, and the World Health Organization leader is assassinated, and they must go on the world-spanning tour to stop a virus from being released by villainess Isla Fisher and stop the world from basically...
Penelope Cruz.
Isla
Fisher's the...
Oh, yeah, of course, sorry, Penelope Cruz. To stop Penelope Cruz from destroying the world, essentially, with a horrible virus. So, within the film, you've got these 2 brothers, and that is essentially what it is. These brothers who have been separated for 26 years. They're basically exactly the opposite ends of the social scale. Mark Strong's character has been raised to be this sort of... Well, he's been raised with highborn parents, and Sacha Baron Cohen hasn't. He's exactly the other side. He's
in the wastelands.
In the wastelands of Grimsby. And I know and this I'll get to it, but just an example of one of the jokes. You see it in the trailer. It's just an observational bit of humour where it's just Grimsby, twin town of Chernobyl. Yeah. Which is it's such a cheap and it's stupid, but it makes us laugh every single time. And that's really what a lot of the humour is within this film, because there is just things that'll be like, oh, I wonder what that's going to be, and these all sort of surround it. So like, oh, can they say that? Like, you know, it's like classical Sacha Baron Cohen humour. And then these all build up to big set pieces, sort of bigger set pieces, where it is purely the intention to shock within. Now, one set piece in particular that we can't spoil or even say on air is in particular really, really bad.
Yeah, and the thing that gets me about this is obviously the clip was shown in Jimmy Kimmel's show on the screen for the audience to see, that we couldn't see, so we saw the reaction and we were, oh my god, they all think it's so shocking and horrible, that must mean it's really funny. Yeah. It's not. That's the thing. It's that kind of clips. It's clever marketing, because it made us all think, oh, that's really shocking, isn't it?
Exactly, yeah.
The entire film does that. It just spends the time going, hey, isn't that shocking? Poking you going, isn't that shocking?
Yeah,
isn't that rude?
There's throwaway gags that will not age well. I mean, there's a lot of stuff about Donald Trump in there. There's a few gags about Daniel Radcliffe. There's stuff in there that will not age well. It's very much a product of its time. And most of the gags that did make me laugh or even giggle a little are just cheap, random jokes that are just thrown in there for no expense, for no expense at all. That pay no service to the story. They have no sort of relevance to the overarching plot. It is literally just random scattershot jokes that really have nothing, and it sort of empties your brain in one end, goes out the other end, and then you just don't think about it, and then it's on to the next controversial or shocking or random thing that seems to get on your nerves. And these set pieces, as I say, there are three major ones, 3 major locations within the film where there are 3 major set pieces. And all of them have an end goal of trying to shock you in the way that, and Borat, as a film, is a really, really good film. It's probably Sacha Baron Cohen's greatest film that he's done.
It's
exactly. And then Bruno was, it was okay. You could take it or leave it. Yeah. And The Dictator was okay. It had a few laughs, but again, cheap, like Grimsby. But in this film, you've got these set pieces that we can't even see on air, just like Sacha Baron Cohen likes it. And it's just, they do nothing but just make you hang your mouth open in horror for at least 5 minutes. And this particular set piece, which is in South Africa, and you can search the Jimmy Kimmel clip if you want to see the reaction, because you will get a general idea of what we were doing. I mean, there was 3 of us here. There was me, Liam, and our friend Tom, who were just sitting there with just mouth agape. Liam's hands were on his head. Sort of, everyone was just. There was this couple to the left of us who were just.
But crucially, we weren't laughing.
We weren't laughing. We were just sort of like, I can't believe they've done this. And
so what was the point?
My overarching feeling was, how can they let this happen? Like, I can't believe that I'm seeing this on a cinema screen, that this is made into a cinema screen, that everyone involved in this production, in the script, and Baron Cohen himself has realised, you know what, we'll put that in, people will laugh. They haven't put it in there to laugh, they'll put it in there so people can think it's controversial, and that's not really how they should do it. It's not got the satire of Borat, it doesn't have even the cheap laughs that was still a bit, pokey funny. That's not really a thing, is it?
No.
They're like poking fun.
I get the idea.
Yeah, but I like Bruno had, but it doesn't have any of that. It's just completely elucidated in no way at all. It's got nothing to offer in terms of satire or comments on the way it is. It tries to be, with Sacha Baron Cohen's character, it tries to involve something where it has sort of this biting comments on poor people and on the society in northern sort of life, but it doesn't have anything to offer in that. It's like really just like, it's putting all of these jokes, and when it gets to a big speech near the end where it addresses
which I
which I did like. It was okay, but it's got nothing to it, because they've just spent the entire preceding 80 minutes or so just poking fun at the northerners and poking fun at poor people, and it has nothing to it. In that case, it feels cold and empty and lifeless.
Well, like I said, I think that I'm going to give Baron Cohen some credit, because these films have been smart, even though they are silly and very vulgar. There is, they are littered with satire. I mean, none of these films are offensive for the sake, and I don't think this is either. I think it is offensive, and I think that bit at the end proves that it's not a jab at North. I think it's probably more a jab at the political system.
Yeah, but I mean...
But in general, this is his least smart film and sort of least deserving of laughs. He's better than this. I think he's a lot better than this. The irritating thing is, you see him and you he's proud of this bit of work, and I don't see what there is
you
there.
Just see him in general,
compared to his previous work. You don't see Borat and Bruno. You don't see Ali G. You just see somebody desperate for something. But anyway, we've had some correspondence. Dave McQuillan from Northern Lights went to see it last night, and he said, "It's easy to draw parallels with Cohen's previous films, as his portrayal of Nobby is every bit as ridiculous, over the top and stereotypical as Borat, Aladdin and Ali G were. His portrayal of Grimsby itself makes you think Kazakhstan have very little to complain about. Where the film might suffer is its longevity. Many of the jokes are reliant on shock humour and might not stand up to repeat viewings. Grimsby is by no means Baron Cohen at his best. It's a lot closer to Ali G in the house than it is to Borat in both ambition and humour. Looking at their content, I couldn't exactly describe the jokes as safe, but they are designed to get easy laughs from a specific audience. Grimsby is probably not going to win any awards, maybe a Razzie. It's probably not going to become anyone's favourite film. What it will do is entertain you for an hour and a half if you're the sort of person who likes jokes about unblocking a toilet with a coat hanger. And you can read that full review on the Northern Lights website. So, yeah.
But you see Baron Cohen speaking, and you can see he's a very well-taught man. He's extremely intelligent.
Yeah.
But this just feels, for me, like it has nothing to it. And I feel like when it builds to that speech, talking about the class system, and talking about society, it has nothing to it, because even in that moment, it's still ribbing on the people that it's trying to say, oh, look, they're scum, but, they're still, they've still got something to them. It doesn't have anything to that. It's got no weight to it. And I know it's meant to be a dumb comedy, but not in the way like we laughed at Dirty Grandpa or something like that. Because we laughed a lot at that, and that's because it's dumb, stupid, throwaway comedy. But in this, Yep.
Better or worse than Dirty Grandpa?
Better. And this is worse. Sorry,
This is
but Dirty
worse.
Grandpa is better. Yeah, because in this comedy, every big reaction was just of shock or I can't believe they've done this, and not in the way and not in the way that it was when it was genuinely fresh and surprising, when he could go around as Borat and try to be a character that was not noticed, and that's why clearly he's doing scripted stuff now, because nobody will sort of look at Sacha Baron Cohen and think, oh, that's a different person. Look, it's Sacha Baron Cohen in a costume. He can't do that anymore. But if he's going to do scripted films like this,
Ant and Dec still do the undercover stuff. It's like, of course, it's Ant and Dec. There's no way that's not Ant and Dec. But anyway, that's a different story.
But it's lifeless, it's humorless, and everything that it tries to do shock wise, it does work shock wise. But when you go back to it, just be like, oh, it's bad.
Yeah.
It's easily one of the worst of the year, if not the worst for me.
And as a spy comedy, the action isn't done that well, and also it kind of lets the air out. If it's an 80-minute comedy, we've got to pack a lot of jokes into that short amount of time. To have those set pieces with no jokes involved, it just lets the air out completely, doesn't it?
Exactly. I mean, especially after last year when we had the excellent Kingsman and the brilliant Spy, to have this, it's just a complete.
Can we see the end of spy comedy now for a bit? Because there's already too much. Dave said the same thing in his review. It's too much.
I don't even think it's a step down from those action comedies. I think spy action comedies. I think it's more like falling down the stairway to heaven. That's basically how it is. It's like a million steps down.
Local music is coming up shortly, but first we'll review